Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's study session. We are going to be looking at early position play, 100 big blinds deep. We're going to be playing against both flats and three bets from mid position, late position, and blind play. So, without further ado, we'll dig into it. When we look at the opening ranges, we can see that it's not a lot different from when we were at 40 big blinds and we were in there with our offsuit jacks and we had some suited eights. And then when we moved to under the gun, our range got a little bit snugger in that we are mostly folding our offsuit jacks, playing with our suited nines. And so our offsuit branch is very tight because when we are this deep, we really want to have the extra odds that you get from playing on the suited side. That also leads us to having a little bit more play with the suited connectors, where we see 6-5 splashing around, 7-6 splashing around. But when we take a look at 40 big blinds, we just don't see 7-6 and 6-5. These hands are going to struggle to realize their equity, but we see a little more play with just high cards. King 10 getting in here, Queen Jack much more prevalent, King Jack at full frequency. So just a little contrast between 40 and 100 big blinds there. And so we will get on into our simulator here. And we'll look at some range interaction once we see a hand or two. So raise up these queens. And we get 3-bet. All right, so the hijack against under the gun. Remember when we did our work from the hijack and the low jack and from the button and the cutoff, it's not about what combos you 3-bet, it's about how frequently you 3-bet. So the hijack's range is going to be pretty wide here, but not at full frequency for any of these combos. What do we want to do in game here? Call, 4-bet, jam, assuming no one's folding. All right, let's
All
take
right,
a
I'll
peek.
kick it off. I
Sure.
would mix between four betting and calling.
Okay.
Probably like close to 50-50. It depends if they're three betting appropriately. Otherwise, I'd just lean on the call.
Well, think of it like this. They're 3-betting like a solver, right? You're up
Yeah, yeah,
against,
yeah. Against GTO Wizard, I like
yeah.
50-50.
All right. Think of it like you're sitting at a table and you realize, uh-oh, across from me is Vivian. I got to play against her tonight, right? She's going to be in here battling with all kinds of stuff. So you better be prepared to play pretty tough poker. So let's take a look at our construction of our 4-bet range here, knowing that they're going to be, your opponent is going to be betting a pretty wide variety of stuff at pretty low frequency.
I only
So,
phrased it that way because you said in-game. So it's like,
yep.
in-game, Alright, what do we have?
So,
There are
uh,
some freaking scary players in the 630s on ACR that I don't play because I'm like,
okay.
no, hell no.
So a
You
response.
saw a final table review of that. It's like, what the fuck? What? Those people are scary.
What the flop? All right. So mostly calling. There is definitely some 4-betting that you can do with this combo. Right? When we look at the opponent's range, if the opponent is 4-betting this wide, right? It's something that we just want to call a lot when we have our hand. if our opponent four bets tighter than this, that would actually drive us more towards calling. Right? We get
You mean
to,
3-bet?
sorry, if they three bet tighter, we would actually be more inclined to call with our queens. So if you think your opponent isn't reaching full saturation of three bets throughout their combos, and they tend to be a little more linear, queens make a better flat than a four bet. Hard to think about it that way, but yeah. So we do play it as a call here. And here we go. We're in a three bet pot with a hand that's pretty high up in our value range. I think this is probably a pretty standard check. I can't imagine a lead here. But it goes check, check. Do we want to start putting chips in this pot?
Mm,
I think sometimes
I
you
don't
do,
know.
but not very often.
Probably not, because hijack should check back some aces.
Excellent. Yeah, I am pretty high frequency checking here. We're 1.5 streets away from showing down our pocket queens on this ace high board.
Sounds good. Oh,
That's true.
Scamistan. All right, we have definitely laid out the scam. What are we going to do now?
what are we trying to get called by? That's like the first, like, what do we, he can have some bad ace that checks twice. He can have some flushes probably still, and definitely some like king jack.
Check. Jam.
Check, I mean, I don't know if I wanna rely on him to bet after he checks back twice and he can never have a queen now. I don't
Alright, hear
know.
me out.
Maybe,
Hear me out,
alright, I
Danny.
like the
Hear-
check, I like the check.
Hear me out, Danny. Okay, hear me out. He's checked twice, right? So
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
got one of two things. He's got like absolutely nothing
And then I'll bluff.
or. Yeah,
Maybe.
so
Yeah,
the
yeah.
check is kind of targeting his bluffs
Yeah,
and
yeah,
making him bluff catch. So I mean, he's gonna get there with king, jack once in a blue moon. Doesn't have a lot of flushes. Doesn't have a lot of anything, right? Like, he's got nothing here, so. You can bet and he folds everything, or you can check and maybe catch a bluff.
Can you
I
bet
think check
small?
or bet 28.
That's another option. Bet small is another option. I'm not a big fan of bet small. It just,
Yeah, maybe,
don't know.
and I think the reason I would lean towards bet small is that really. When we check, he may check back a lot of the middle pair type hands. We wanna try to get value from nines
did.
here, right? We wanna try to get value nines at three bet. We're gonna get value from maybe, I don't know if jacks would have bet at some point, but maybe jacks, maybe a hand like king 10.
Alright,
Yeah, yeah, I don't
There's
mind that.
value to be
How-
had here, and I
how
think if you
small do you
check, a lot
have
of
to
those hands
bet?
just check back.
Go ahead, Jay.
how small do you have to bet to get called by eights, nines?
I don't
Two.
think you,
Two.
I think
So-
if you bet a third, I think if
So
you bet a
if you
third, those
miss
hands will call.
value, if you miss two, the value of two for those middle pairs you're trying to target. And he
Might as well
bluffs
just check then.
more
right?
than two. You're losing out in value.
Well, so yeah, Joey, like, what do you think his bluffs are gonna do, right? I think his bluffs are gonna go polar.
Yeah, 15 at least.
So do you think that if you bet 6, are you gonna get called by a 10?
Ugh. Maybe like, what was, he's
I,
jack
I
10,
think,
king
I think we
10.
always get called by a
It's
10.
probably indifferent or close to always calling. I don't know. I
But-
think we still see some purple here.
Greedy people want all the chips. And they check.
Alright. No
So
purple.
6.5 is definitely a thing. You can definitely bet this size. And you can try and get called by a 10. But if you want to try and get your opponent to put more chips than 6 in the pot, you're gonna have to check. And when you're deep stacked, these are the type of value decisions that it seems counterintuitive, but to get a lot of chips in the pot, you're gonna have this type of a line.
You gotta swing for the fences, right, Pete?
The bet
Big
15 had almost
humanity.
the same EV.
Look at this, we
Interestingly.
lost, we
Yeah.
lost so much value.
Yeah,
Eh,
well, I mean,
he would have called 6.
he's calling six, but
Safe to say.
savage. All right. So this time we get flatted. We have to hand towards the bottom of our range and get an ace high flop.
Can I speak 1 second from the previous M?
Sure.
While you were talking, I just take a look if it was the button that raised at 8 and the strategy don't change that much, and I'm really surprised about it. On the pre-flop,
Pre-flop?
if we take a look at if the hijack raised to 8 or the button raised to 8, the strategy is pretty much the same.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really surprised about that because if it was the button, I will raise really much. I will raise wider than TTZ, but it's pretty much the same strategy. If it's hijack or a button.
Yeah, and part of it is, again, all the combos are gonna find some three betting. The
Yeah.
earlier you are, the more three betting you have, and the button particularly is not quite so incentivized to three bet because the button can just call and be in position against anyone else who wants to get in the pot a little more,
Yeah.
right? So like the cutoff's more incentivized to three bet here, right? The button's only three betting 5.8%.
Yeah.
But the cutoff, right, is 5.7, but only has 12% calls, as opposed to the button who has 18% calls, right? 50% more calls.
Yeah.
So yeah, good comment, and we'll look at it as we kind of go around the horn. But yeah, as you move further and further, it's just kind of more calls that fit in, and which kind of waters down your raising range.
Yeah.
Yeah, good observation. All right. Pretty standard check line here. Don't think there's much to look at there. Facing a giant bat with functionally fourth pair. I got to admit, like I'm leaning here pretty quickly. Anyone else want to dangle their chips into this pot?
No.
Pure fold.
Beautiful.
What's the worst hand you're continuing with?
So
7-8.
7x of hearts.
Yeah,
or
I
spades.
would think that maybe 7-8 and 7-6 start to bluff. Sometimes your worst sevens start to turn themselves into bluffs. A
Man,
little.
you guys are ambitious, I think. 7-8 versus a pot size
No.
bet.
Oh, versus pot. I mean, with the backdoor, we're deep.
With
We are
hearts or spades.
Well,
I mean,
maybe you're right.
I would think it would have to, right? Because what other you're gonna have to have some bluffs. What other logical bluffs do you have?
Hmm,
We have a little bit. I mean, it's not like you're bluff your lot. You're probably gonna bluff like 3 or 4% of the time, but what are those bluffs gonna be?
Well, when he
Jack
bets so
9.
large on this board, I don't know how many raises we have.
We have very few. But
Yep.
I'm saying that if you're gonna have raises here, it can't. I mean, probably functionally, you could probably play this spot as a pure call and have no raises. But if
to
you're
be
going
honest,
to
to
have,
be honest, you guys are
Even
right, like
7-6, wow.
7-8,
Wait,
7-6.
even, we fold king 10 pure. King 10, queen 10, all of our 10x fold pure. Dang, because I guess it's like we're drawing to like our two pair is kind of dead. Sometimes two pairs a little bit of reverse implied odds with those offsuit 10x.
Yeah, you need the equity of the backdoor flush draw, right? Or the backdoor straight draw.
Yeah,
Right? These offsuits are really struggling here.
Yeah,
I like how
7-8's
it's
actually doing
taking,
better than a lot of stuff.
I like where it's taking king jack. Like I was thinking maybe like some gut shots with a backdoor.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is like really like edge casey type stuff. Like if you, again, if you want to play this whole spot as probably just a call, you're probably
You were
not
right on the money
missing a
with
lot.
the 7, 6,
Honestly,
8, 7, 9,
yeah,
7.
Jamie, the way I kinda think about it is, it's like, it's nice to know how the solver is behaving in this situation, but if I'm facing a pot size bet, I'm just not doing this stuff, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and
Yeah.
I'm not functionally doing it either, but it is good to understand, especially
But-
if you think about like from an exploitative perspective.
Oh, yeah,
If
100%,
somebody's
100%.
like,
So-
He
if,
bet, let's say he bets the 4-7 size instead, I think you'll see a lot of the same hands doing raising at a higher frequency, so it's
Yeah,
still
yeah,
useful to see
I
it
would,
here,
I would
right?
agree too, Danny. I think you're gonna see like the same regions
Sure.
behaving how they are. It's just gonna be more aggressively.
Part of
I
it
like that it's
too,
turning bottom pair
these-
into a bluff. That's interesting.
And particularly these sevens where your opponent isn't gonna have this bet size coming from their part, that part of their range. Because when you turn to pair here, you're gonna be pretty clean on your outs.
Well,
right?
yeah, and it's
not
kinda
gonna improve
interesting,
your
like,
opponent's hand.
you're blocking pocket seven, so you can
Yeah,
like.
So we're gonna
reportedly-
raise 6, 7. They're gonna fold and we're gonna show them the 7.
Yeah.
And then
And
they'll be
then,
like, I knew you had a
like-
set. I made a great fold.
So,
And
yeah,
then
so
if
they
you
have
look at it
roughly
like,
equal portions of their range, betting
Mm.
this 7 size and betting the 4.5 size. And
mhm,
pretty much every combo that chooses the 7 size also is backed up by choosing the 4 size as well. So it's not like
Right.
he's picking a certain combo to do it with. And this is a very deep stack thing. It's not about which combo, it's about the frequency in which you use this portion of the bet in this part of the combo.
mhm.
So
Yeah,
very
this
tough.
is pretty interesting. So it's taking like middle of the deck kind of stuff.
Wait, it's checking a lot back. Once we check it, they check 65% of the time.
Yep.
But if they do bet, they're betting pot or 4.7. That's interesting.
Mhm.
'Cause
Well, so
sometimes I
one-
feel like default to bet small even at deep stacks, and it's like, no, wrong. You suck.
Yeah, a lot less of this. Like, you know, when we were 20 big blinds and we're 40 big blinds, you know, the 1.2 bet or 1.5 bet or the one big blind bet is our friend. But here, like, you just can't see that type of micro betting here. It's not going
It's
to be
also
very
a function of the board, right?
and
And-
it's also a function of
yeah.
the fact that we don't bet a lot either. Like hijack just isn't betting a lot, normally probably betting about a third of the time.
Yep.
And generally, like the less you, it's not a pure rule, but the less you bet, the less you bet, the more likely your bet sizing is gonna be polar.
But look at him pot with probably the bottom of his range, pocket fours.
Yeah, that's what polar means.
And it's a function of not having a ton of natural other bluffs.
All right.
I think we should fold because we don't have aces.
I'm with you. Let's,
Oh, right.
I'm just
Fold.
kidding. It's you have pocket queens, and of course you flop sets with pocket queens and fives most often.
I'm checking this, full frequency.
Yeah, check.
So
uh,
what is our opponent flat here? He doesn't flat kings or aces.
He's got 9-10, he's got king 10, he's got jack queen, he's got some ace, maybe not ace jack, that's gonna be more three betty, I think.
King 10 suited.
King
He's-
10 suited.
he's gonna flat, he's gonna
suited.
flat jacks at some frequency. He's gonna flat ace queen at some
Jacks.
Ace jack
frequency.
off. Did we
Mhm.
say
King
that?
queen, like probably mostly, if not pure, like he's gonna, there's a lot of, even though we have the board kind of unlocked to some degree. It is a board though, which is, there's still plenty of cards that could like be not like the best, right?
Yeah,
King's
you know,
nine.
I just think that the most efficient way of building a pot is check raising. Well, it is the most efficient way. It's not my thoughts. So like, when you're super deep stack, it's just gonna be more effective. As opposed to
I am-
like,
Yeah, I could go either way
Yeah,
here. I
and then if it
think
goes
there's a
check,
pretty
check,
good
you-
argument.
You get
You
to
go-
start like over betting turn, basically.
exactly, Danny, exactly. You just start going uber polar on a lot of turns.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about checking these queens here because I think this is a board that he's gonna check back a lot on. So
Yeah, you can bet.
yeah, and I think part of it is with how strong this is, like it's and you have to realize like deep stack, it's just gonna be hard to get 100 big blinds in sometimes. And so the goal can't always be to get 100 big blinds in. I think we'll be lucky to get 40 big blinds in here.
It's the goal
So
piece.
this one
It's
I
always
think
the
is
goal.
gonna have a line that's gonna go bet small, bet small, bet small a lot.
Oh, we're not gonna try to
So-
check raise some turns now.
So there is
What?
one thing I do wanna add to that.
if
Alright,
we bet
so
small.
like. When we see like middle position versus EP or EP versus EP. Like the earlier the position the flatter is, the more respectful the solver is to that range, right? So like. Under the gun versus button, you're gonna have some big bets. Under the gun versus low jack, you're just not gonna have big bets. And I think this dichotomy that kind of happens, like in theory, is just like rubbish compared to what actually happens in real life. Like people just don't respect like a field flat like the solver does.
Well, it's also because there's way like the solver has 3 bets and
Right.
the
It's-
solver has
it's-
3 bets and but the population doesn't.
Yeah. So
Well,
like
we did
here,
check
it
line.
check. I'm going pretty polar here. Like, I don't think he should be checking back king ten.
I'm
Very
Oh, no,
frequently.
no.
I'm gonna overbet this.
This might be a turn I
Yeah.
decide to not overbet.
You're just 14?
So.
I kinda like blue.
I'm purple.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised to see some pink in there, but purple.
Yeah,
and
I
pink-
wouldn't surprise me to see like a 2. I mean, it might even,
I think we're gonna see quite a wide variety of these three type of things.
You do have to be a little respectful just because of the nature of it. We'll see, okay.
And we
Oh
are
my
all so
goodness.
off.
Here we go again. See, this is that thing I was talking about, like, it's just so respectful.
So respectful. Oh my goodness, 1.4 chips.
Well, it could be so respectful or it could be a raise.
so we got max value.
Yeah, I guess. We avoided a bad run out. Alright. Oh, this time we get immediately 3 bets.
It's a big one too. I mean, okay, you could low click raise this, I guess, but I think this
Yeah,
is
there's
borderline,
some
like,
poor
probably
betting
just
with
a,
this.
it's probably just a
It's-
fold.
It's a
gonna
call.
be
It's gonna
call
call. It's gonna call.
close
You're
to
gonna fold
pure.
ace-3 and maybe a little bit of ace-4, but I think ace-5 is either gonna call or raise a
You're
little bit.
probably right. This is
I
worth like
think it's-
nothing though,
yeah.
right? It's like worth like nothing.
Yeah, 0.15 EV.
Yeah.
Ace,
It's-
ace five is my Bluffian.
Okay, so
bet-
don't go all in with this at this positions for 100 big blinds because eight's 5. That's
It's still
negative
30%
0.83.
in there. It's more than I
You can
thought.
just. you can click
Clicking
in
is
there.
30% and it's good, but all in.
Well,
is
yeah, not all in. Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, nobody
like,
said one.
now we're like, we're kind of in a pickle here. Like, I would not be surprised to see, well, do we ever raise? I don't know.
I think
don't know.
if he bet tiny, we could maybe call one. Otherwise, we're probably just pitching it to like
Well,
half
see,
pot or bigger.
well, see, Danny, you're talking about calling, but like, we got 3 to a straight. It's a very hard board to defend.
Or raise,
We have a
okay.
backdoor flush, like. I don't know,
It's always
but
gonna
I don't
mix,
know.
right? It's
No,
gonna
I
be like
would've-
mainly call with a little raising.
I wouldn't check raise that.
Yeah, I don't know. We gotta open a
We can
betting
look at it
dialogue here.
after.
We're not calling here to, check down a ace five.
Can't imagine it. So how big do you guys want to go? Half pot?
It went check, check.
Hmm.
It's a paired board, which will drive down the frequency a smidgy, right? I don't hate half pot.
I don't hate half.
Well,
I can see quarter. I like,
I
Like-
would have rather been aggressive on the flop. I'm not sure now.
Check, check. I mean, he's
Well,
gonna
I'm
be
also
yeah,
not
I
protected.
mean, yeah,
sure.
it is a paired board. You don't usually bet big on paired boards.
You're attacking, what do you need to bet to make ace
You're-
queen or ace king fold? That's like
You're
what
attack,
you're
you're
trying to do.
attacking a capped
You're,
range.
you're,
You
You're-
need to
you're-
bet 2 streets to make them fold, I think.
yeah, to fold better, you're double barreling here.
And that's why I'm checking.
If you're betting, you're betting big, but I don't know. I mean,
Well, so it's the under the gun low jack situation again, right? Like it's gonna
I
be
don't want to be
super
respectful.
respectful.
I have a set of nines and they don't have nines because they would have bet nines.
96%.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
basically it's a
overturned.
bad combo to be bluffing with because like we missed our backdoor flush. It's front of our, like, in terms of suit.
Yeah,
We just don't get
that
immediate
is true
folds,
because we're no
and we
longer
can't
pushing
improve.
equity. Yeah. That's a very good point. Like, we're out of position, so we need to be pushing equity, not like,
So you really want to have
Anyway,
a
out of
10 or a jack.
position, we want to have equity and our bluffs need a lot more equity to be bluffing than in position. In position doesn't need any equity to bluff. But out of
Yeah.
position needs equity to bluff. And
Yeah,
that's
and we
why,
yeah, and we have queen jack, we have queen 10, we have jack 10, we have spades, we have a lot of other hands. We don't need to use this hand as a bluff, so that makes a lot of sense.
So when you hold a 10 or a jack here, you really block his auto continues on a board that has 9s and 8s. And you block his combos that have an 8.
And,
Right.
and you also have a gut shot or an open ender.
Pete, before you click out, can you check what, if we do have a check raise on the flop with this hand?
So check if he bets.
Whatever his primary
His
frequency
size
is.
is. He has a lot of small, so we'll go small.
Yeah, 4.6 seems to be like the ticket.
And
So ace
Yeah,
five
but-
with the front door and a little with the back door, not really.
Nah, it's mainly just calling if it's in there.
it's also pretty indifferent between calling and raising in terms of its expected value, so. It's just as good to raise here as it is to
Yeah.
call.
Yeah,
But
I might
if
have
he
raised
goes
it.
half pot, we just pitch it.
Yes, that's correct, Danny, for sure. Any bigger and it's gonna be like later.
He has a lot of half pot here. Alright, so check.
Check, 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 check. Oh,
It's just gonna, it's gonna
Hey.
show down ace high,
Just
I
check
think.
ace
down.
high.
We chop. Oh,
Okay, apparently I don't know how to play 100 big blinds under the gun versus low jack.
now
Bet
we
him
try to
off the chop.
bluff off the chop.
Okay, can't bluff off the chop for that price.
I
Well, maybe
guess
he has to
we-
call with king high here, so we get some value. This is a value bet then.
Yeah, that
Oh.
feels like a fairy tale in real life, though.
No, when you bet half, I'm pretty sure, like king X starts to bluff. I wouldn't be surprised if king X bluffs. I don't know why we would bet that.
We
Again,
bet third.
6. We'll see what his response is.
We have some like deuce that gets here and like a 9 that check
mean,
and whatever.
I-
Yeah, everything that calls beats us.
And
yeah, then
that
some of the
king-
queen, yeah,
Oh.
some of the queen highs and king highs start
I,
bluffing.
I
Yeah.
guess he folds ace, queen, ace, king here. So we do get a few better aces to fold.
Why would he fold ace king?
Cause it blocks our bluffs.
Yeah,
It blocks our king X bluffs. and he
yeah,
beats.
he really does. He wants us to have a king or a queen here. So when he has a king or a queen, he decides to fold. Because he needs us to be bluffing king high or queen high here. All right, that's a pretty minutia solver thing. Is this even an open? What are we doing?
No, it's a fold.
All right, someone didn't edit the range properly, or maybe I just.
it was testing us,
All right, here we go.
raise. Only
We get
because we
flattered.
are. Maybe
Okay.
we still check.
Check.
5.
I kinda like check call.
So no one has any leads here.
I do think we have some leads on the
Oh.
king high board, but I think it's with some better
I,
hands.
I think we lead here. I think we bet this because we're betting so much here.
We're bet at more versus button.
So
It's our worst
let
king
me,
though.
yeah, okay, thank you, Danny. That's where I was going with this. Like, what
Yeah.
do you typically do with your worst top pairs?
And I think on king, queen boards, when we bet
Mm.
large.
You bet because we're probably betting 70-80% of the time here.
It's a function of the king and the queen together. Right? This is really strong for our range here. So I am not surprised to see this, but checking is also just fine. The difference is very minimal, but on king high boards particularly, we want to lead from out of position a little more off. I'm surprised that it's 83% though.
Hmm.
But we'll take a look at the entirety of the range.
Do we
here.
have king 8 suited?
Yeah,
King
we've
7
got-
suited?
maybe not king 7. We probably have king 8 in full, or at least mostly. I mean, I have king 8 here.
Yeah, remember
I
it was
mean-
suited
find out.
suited 8s. Right, suited 9s for under the gun, so it's gonna have a few suited 8s that come along, so king 8's gonna come along. And yeah, you can see that range is leading 69% of the time here.
Yeah, I
Yes,
mean,
we-
this is like
Hmm.
basically a range bet for like out of position. Like, you don't really find higher frequencies than this.
Why is 5-4 going so wild without anything else in value except a sliver of pocket fives?
All you have to say, Joey, is he's blocking a set.
Yeah, blocking bottom set, and then it picks up for all the other slivers because Jack 10 is doing it a little bit,
King
King
queen.
Queen is doing it a little bit.
See,
ace
it
Ace
seems
10.
crazy.
a little bit.
Seems
Yeah,
crazy though. I'm
yeah.
with you guys.
Yeah, I
think it
just-
seems crazy.
I think it's just better to just ignore
Yeah.
some of these like 1% and 2% type things and just look for what the baseline is. And the baseline here is that it wants to bet like a third out of position with our entire range.
And so here, it just wants to push its equity that's slightly better all along this graph. And so that just gives us this small bet here. Against the opponent's slightly capped range.
So if we bet small, what kind
Okay.
of range is that guy raising? Does he have like a prominent raising strategy?
Let's take a peek. Versus our small bet, because it's a range
Maybe
bet.
not, right?
Probably not on a rainbow board, right? Like his bluffs are gonna be driven by the straight, not by the flush, but the problem is the straight's still in our range. So checking, or sorry.
This is turn,
his-
yeah.
Yeah, his strategy here. Fold, call. Yeah, 10% raising, 12% raising.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be raising functionally around the straight draw. And then around the best two pairs and sets.
Alright.
And then some fives.
One final question. If we do find a check on the flop, what
Mhm.
kind of frequency is he betting?
Probably 30%. We check. His
Pretty
range
close,
is,
pretty close,
Ooh,
yeah, the 32.5%.
pretty close.
Yeah.
Right, and he's favoring like a polar strategy, so like large.
Half pot or bigger.
Hmm. Okay,
same hand classes that raise kinda.
Okay, so we bet he called, ranges get narrowed. I would not be surprised to see this king check, even though the jack is good for our range.
Yeah, I'd probably just check this again.
Yeah, I no
Yeah.
longer wanna put much more money in this pot.
Yeah, out of position. We have better hands. We have king 10. We have king jack. We have all the better kings here. We don't
Mhm.
need to bet this hand. We really
No.
want to try to get this to showdown.
You don't
You-
really wanna play a giant pot at this point, I don't think, with a hand like this.
You had king 10, would you wanna bet?
Do we ever,
Yes,
go
we,
for,
yeah,
though?
we would all, yeah, I think king 10, we would bet this always.
I would feel more comfortable betting king ten.
Check a
It still
little
bets.
bit
Oh,
of
some
betting.
two even, okay. We just wanna like control the pot kinda, huh?
Mhm.
Kind of blockerish in a way.
Yeah, but on the
When
turn,
we bet, he calls a lot, and when we check, he has the chance to polarize.
right?
Tell you
Trying to-
the more of these 100 big blind out of position sims I see, like. The stronger case it makes for a max late red strategy in my mind.
You can gain so much edge though, from people just like not knowing that they're overplaying and whatever.
Yeah, maybe.
People taking people taking top pair like for 3 streets for 200 big blinds. It is nice, especially the low stakes. I'm finding that out.
Alright, is there anything to do but check here?
We bet, I don't know, man. I kinda wanna bet, like, that three's a brick.
Absolutely betting small.
Yeah, I mean small. I could even be convinced you go bigger.
Both
Yeah,
checking and betting are fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's either I would say it was either probably going to be check or we're going to bet something like half.
So betting here, we're trying to get him to call with a queen or a jack. Checking, we're trying to get him to bet with a queen or a jack.
Yeah, I just don't know if a queen or a jack would. I just don't know if a
So
queen or a
it
jack.
depends if he is the thin value type or the station type.
I am thin betting this river 100% of the time. You can just bluff catch me all day long. I am never checking.
Oh yeah,
this.
with ace queen, like
Yeah.
it goes check right. Yeah, I'm always betting half pot there.
Like exploit betting even smaller than that.
mm,
Yeah, I'm not. I probably should do more of it, but I don't exploit.
To
bet
anyone
enough.
listening on YouTube, I am thin betting that river too. Alright. Oh, we get some 4 bets. Really spacey. Not gonna do it very often. Ooh.
we're pretty smoked here.
so-
Yeah, you three. I'm listening on YouTube, and I think that you're thin betting because people have we look you up and be like, "What? I have a jack. I want to look you up."
Check and fold.
You can't fold for 5 big blinds. You have the 8 of
Oh, I
spades.
I
Eight of
sure
Yeah,
will.
no, we're full. No, we're absolutely 100% full like here. I don't even
Peter,
think this is
it's
close.
Okay,
king high, king jack high.
I know.
But
Lots
we
of
have a
nuts, these
pair. They
cards.
have ace 10.
Yeah, and once we check here, we basically said we don't have a king or a jack.
Okay,
We should be betting this board a
I'll
lot.
concede
No,
this.
we're the three, we called
Oh
a
no,
three
it's
bet.
like it's a 3-bet. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
we're three
Called the
bet
three
pot.
bet.
no, that
fold.
makes me even less likely to want to call here.
I'll concede the spade might be indifferent, but no spade, no
Fold.
call.
Well, I mean,
spade,
it
no
likes if it's theoretically choosing a combo of ace to call, it would choose this one, but I don't. And you can fold.
We can't improve. I mean, like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I said,
basically no
it's
EV.
only this combo with a spade and a heart at the same time.
You know that your combo is not going to turn a poisonous 8, right?
Hmm.
If you
Oh,
want to get loose and
shoot.
splashy, oh, with the nuts. Gonna be hard to face a barrel turn of a heart, hey? All right, ace jack. What's up?
Oh, is that why it favors that combo? I was like, why does it favor like both of the suits on the board?
Fold.
Yeah,
understand-
This is a pure fold.
I'm
I
folding
thought it
here
was
in
about
game.
the backdoor flush, but now that makes more sense. Where it likes both of the suits there.
Oh, gross.
Man, we're just
not a-
getting owned.
Because your 8 will never complete a
Ooh, this
flush.
Even an open.
Catch me
This is-
folding ace jack off under the gun, 9-handed,
This
200
is
big
open
steep.
about 10%.
9%, get it right.
It opens
job.
more on the short stack. When you're deep, you don't really want this combo. You don't like it.
Yeah, shorter you care more about big cards. Suited this isn't as big a deal.
Oh, they're dealing us all the folds now.
Someone left the trash in the. Oh my goodness.
Do you have close decision set up in your GTO wizard or not?
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
We have full range.
Okay,
We should.
all right.
Full range plus a few random combos that are 0%.
Ace 7-5.
We're never
Big
gonna
and very
get
steady
dealt
small
Jack
check.
4 offsuit.
But that's the nuts. Somebody told me,
I know.
especially if you get look at a player's soul.
Check and
check.
then back.
I'm not betting here. Maybe I should be though.
No, I think this is a check.
It's a
Out of
pretty high
position, we
check.
have no
Yeah, just
additional
check,
equity.
right?
It's just
Don't
check fold.
fall.
I
Don't fall
mean-
for frauds is don't check twice out of position. And I'm like, but then you start studying, you're like, you're supposed to check twice out of position a lot.
This might be a weird 1.4 type thing.
Well, so like, I don't know if he should be checking back very many ace X on the flop. And we will be checking some ace X.
He should
so-
check
The only
back
hands-
a fair
The only
amount.
hands we're beating are like pocket nines, pocket eights, and king, queen.
And
like,
every
this is
hand we
just a
can
check.
make fold.
This is just a check fold.
1.4 a little.
Very
So-
slivery.
If you are gonna find a bet, you're gonna find a bet where the jack of clubs turns because he has less auto continues with a flush draw here.
Yeah, that's fair. The rainbow one.
Yeah. If you wanna find a bet, you can only bet on the rainbow or the rainbow turn.
No, that makes
I
sense.
think if we're gonna bet, we're gonna have the 10 of diamonds and the 10 of hearts is gonna be the most bet. It's still gonna be very infrequent.
You're probably right. You're way more in tune with the rainbow runouts than I am, Pete. I need to pay closer attention to those.
Yeah, well, it's the nature of where draws come from on deep stack boards and where danger
Mhm.
comes from. And primarily it's the flush draw, but when it runs rainbow, it becomes the straight draw, right?
Right.
And rainbow flops are that way too, right? Like
Yeah.
the danger card here is a 6.
Yeah.
Sit
Yeah, that
down,
makes
son.
sense.
Today I'm gonna tell you about where draws come from.
Oh, do we pay off this disrespectful river bet?
I think it's a different. I probably would fold, but I wouldn't be surprised if it calls a
Raise.
little bit.
Raise him, bluff him.
Raise the 13.
Don't raise him. Don't just
Flick
call.
it
Just
in.
call. Don't
Wait,
do it.
why
Just call.
don't you
Just call.
wanna, you don't wanna,
Flick
I'm
it in and
folding,
hold your
yeah.
cards above the muck, waiting to
Mm.
get shown the winner.
Jesus, ace, king.
I feel like I calling those bets too much and especially against population, I shouldn't be calling those small
See?
bets.
Against population, you should probably be folding
I don't like folding.
anything other than a, yeah, I hate
You can
folding too.
four.
But
You
we
can
checked
four-bet
3
or call.
times. How can we just fold?
I'm kind of on team four bet here sometimes. I think it's an attractive option. I call here in game.
I think we flat because it's ace queen suited.
Mhm.
Usually
off
like
is
our
just a-
suited ace X, other than ace king, really wants to flat more than it wants to three bet.
I think
But
this is a four bet like half the time.
four bet, I mean,
Half
What's
the
I
the flat
think,
one?
time.
I think
Let us see.
EP versus middle position, it's gonna prioritize the suited. And then if it was like versus steel, like middle position versus steel, you'll start seeing some of the
yeah.
trashy
I also
offsuit.
just don't think it four bets very often.
I think the suited will 4-bet more than offsuit here, I agree.
I think the offsuit is a pure fold.
50-50.
Or fold, offsuit probably calls, but it's like.
I think
not
it's a
that
call.
risky.
Not
I
this
think
deep.
it's,
I think offsuit will probably mix call and fold, but
It might have
we
like. a
just
sliver.
yeah, we just don't raise a lot, and our
Right.
raising range is very like. It's
It's
like
literally,
no
it's
EV,
literally
right?
like ace king,
But it
and
calls.
it's literally
It's like
king
mixing
plus ace
everything.
king.
Zero
And then it
EV.
mixes some of
Yeah.
this other random stuff, right?
So
In a
yeah,
cash game, maybe fold it.
yeah, but
Cash
like,
game is
um,
absolutely a fold.
yeah,
one
so like,
100th of a chip on all these decisions.
yeah, it's
So
kinda
that's-
whatever.
that's it. That's if population's three betting you enough too. So
And then here,
if they
Pretty
aren't three bet bluffing enough, this becomes a losing call.
yeah, ace queen here still can have some value. When we raise it up. Their response is going to make us fold ace queen. They jam. Right, looking at what they're gonna jam. So
Mhm.
when we 4-bet this ace queen and we get 5-bet, it's a fold.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I shouldn't have given away the answer. Anyone else want to punt 79 more big blinds?
We would have won.
pretty different.
No.
What
Queen was
what a
coming.
joker. What a
Alright.
joker with this ace, king of hearts.
Let's move the positions down.
That was spicy.
All right.
UT jizzle.
Now we go to players who are going to have wider calling ranges. But they find a 3-bet from the button. Ooh.
Mostly
Anything
call
about their
slivers at
call?
4-bet.
Okay.
I'm with Nick. I'm just gonna be pure calling though.
A
Yeah,
little bit of 4-bet. It's just fine. So is this a 4-bet fold for you then, Nick?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, with nines, I know there's 4-betting in there, but I have troubles pulling the trigger.
I mean,
It's
There-
against population, I wouldn't be 4-betting nines. Just because you're gonna, because
Joey,
they're-
yeah, it feels so bad when they just insta call, right? Which you
Yeah.
know they're doing so often.
And then you get ace, king, jack flop.
Like the reason to 4-bet is you would have fold equity sometimes, but.
okay, boys, so we got a 10-3-3 two-tone board. We
Alright.
are going to defend by raising here some, I think.
Yeah.
Do you
Sure.
defend nines with
Uh,
the 9 of spades by raising? You're
No.
definitely gonna VPip this, I think.
I pure raise this one.
It's interesting.
The higher the pair, the less we raise, right? Or no?
no, I think it's the opposite
Well,
here.
I think that's true. Higher the pair up to like right under the top card. But the problem is like, what's the worst pair that we have that's below a 10? Maybe like,
Sevens, maybe sixes.
so yeah, I think those would be more likely to bluff raise than nines. But,
I don't know if this is a spot, but I do remember seeing something where the hand below the top pair and the hand right above top pair wanna, like, this would be nines and jacks would wanna do the most.
I think you can call or raise before we see the answer. I think either one's fine.
I'm
Yeah,
calling.
I think this is a pure call, or if it's
And
because,
room-
Too, Galen.
I just think it is, because I think we have queens and jacks and kings here that wanna raise. And we're gonna have some stuff like some suited ace X that can raise too.
So,
So
Don't
what
we're-
notice-
Peter.
Look
Yeah,
at, look at
We're gonna be
this.
pushing equity and a little bit of the ace 10, king 10. I'm a little bit surprised it wants, I guess ace 10 makes some sense.
What note is this, Peter? Is
This
this
is
So
button?
button.
this is his 3-bets on the flop. And part of the problem is when he's not 3-betting for value with that, he's 3-betting a lot of suited tens.
Yeah, you're right.
He-
Maybe
he's
10
3-betting more.
specifically.
He's 3-betting more offsuit aces and suited aces that miss though.
But look at
Like
his,
ace-
look at his suited tens here.
Can we filter by weight?
Well, you don't have.
Now we're looking at pre, so it's full weight.
Yeah,
But if, do you mean on the flop?
So let's
flop?
just go to the flop, go to the button range and then hit filters.
So top
So he has
pair,
top pair 11%, over pair 22%.
Yeah.
But he has ace high 29%, king high 15%, and no mate hand 12%. So he like half the time he misses this completely.
Well, and he should, right? That's the nature of a board like this. This is you're gonna attack this type of texture, I think, pretty aggressively. Now, do we do it with nines? I don't know.
And how much do we raise if we raise?
I'm raising this like 40% of the time.
So he used a larger
Yellow or
sizing, which
gray?
yeah.
I would go clicky.
Probably
'cause he
gray.
used-
I would go yellow. I would go 21.
nobody
Yeah,
else is
I'm-
going red.
No.
No.
Maybe a sliver of something goes red, I don't
I'm-
know.
I'm pretty green here.
Yeah, I'm
just-
pretty
yeah.
green.
It,
Oh,
Yeah, almost pure, yeah, like. And again, we have queens, we have jacks, we have some good 10x of our own that can raise. We have some threes. We have ace three. We have pocket threes. Like, we really wanted to get spicy and raise quads.
I don't think we have pocket threes. Can we see our range there?
Sure. So I think like because there's a flush draw board, our bluffs are going to be more interactive with the flush draw than with like a pair here.
I don't think this
I
is
think our-
necessarily a bluff.
Our pair is just a marginal made hand that just check calls pretty pure, but we'll take a look.
I'm not like, we're gonna have hands that we raise just for equity denial that we still fold if they jam, that are value raises.
Yeah, that's kind of the vein I think about it through also.
So when he bets, 45% fold, 41% call, and 10% raises.
And
We're
it is
only
clicky.
clicking it.
And it is going to be like, it's not the reverse hierarchy we were looking at, like. It likes nines, eights, and sevens more than sixes, fives, fours. But, it's coming from
do have
things that
threes.
kind of,
Yeah, we have
linear, right?
threes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have threes because if we're opening threes, we're always gonna probably call because of
Yeah, yeah.
Quad threes
flop
click it.
set. 100 big blinds, always flop
But yeah.
set.
And then all of these are gonna be spades.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
linear.
So it's
It's doing a
spades and
little
Yeah,
value.
and again, it comes back to the fact that we're out of position and we need to, our bluffs need to push equity. So if we're not gonna have a ton of bluffs here, which we're really not, a ton of value, which we're really
Our
not.
quote unquote
bluff-
bluff is ace, queen, ace, king,
Yeah,
which
exactly,
still
right?
beats some of his range, right?
Yeah, I mean, but
Yep.
the point is that like our bluffs, like push equity. Like,
And we can turn an ace or king. and-
Okay, but
Yeah,
when
for
you're
sure.
betting king, when you're check raising king 10 here, are you bluffing?
no. No, I mean,
So when you
I'm doing it
check
for,
raise-
I'm doing it for value to get him to continue with, say, his ace high
Push equity
spades that'll
is a good way to look at it.
like fold with his
So when you check-
nines.
If you were to check raise with nines, then are you bluffing?
I would never check raise nines here.
Yeah,
No, but I'm
Kinda.
saying it's a similar concept, right? Like either the hands are effectively the same. You're beating basically the same range of hands. So it's the same concept where you're check raising for like equity denial.
Yeah.
Nines is too wide, but
Well, our opponent
Okay,
has a lot of
king 10
worse
seems
hands
thin.
that he three bets. Right, so ace 10 is ahead for value.
Like king 10, like I think if you just like always just call king 10, you're probably just fine. Like these really tiny slivers, I probably would just like never like raise king 10 here, but probably would like mostly raise ace 10.
Like
Just because I know I'm beating king 10.
Can we
ace
look at-
10 is better than pocket jacks with a spade.
if you, click it, let's say we take the raise line.
Okay.
I'm curious how we, proceed. You can put the same turn in there, it's fine. Let him call and then. Well, we can see what he calls and then, click call after.
So
Let's
he
see.
calls pretty
It's
wide.
like all the, yeah.
all
gonna
his
jam
pairs
some
and then his flush
spades.
draws.
Yeah, he's just jamming spades, spade bluffs, and over pairs. Right, and checking with some houses, calling with some houses.
Yeah, but I'm a
So
little
let's say he
surprised that
calls and we
queens
have a
don't like.
thin,
Is the reason that he doesn't snap queens the fact that we have some kings here?
and aces, I guess.
And
yeah.
he wants to keep our
And-
bluffs.
Yeah, for sure.
Um.
Mhm.
Okay, so if we did have the hand like king 10. We're just gonna proceed as if it's, well,
Bigs.
we're largely checking still, I guess, alright.
Yeah, king 10 particularly bets, and he just winds up here with a very linear range. Best flush draws, the best flushes, the best aces. So 7 of a tiny bit of lead, not really a thing. And double barrel, is it time to give up on this?
I'm folding. It's close. It's probably mixing in the solver.
Mixing, yeah.
And it's just kings. Oh, okay, we open this and we get 3-bet. Wow.
Damn.
Why did we open that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, it's probably a sliver, right?
yeah.
It's a bottom.
Yeah, it's under the gun 1. There's a little bit of that.
Jack suited, very nice. You had a flat from the cutoff. And a 10 high board. Is
I'm
this a spot?
checking a lot
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
I'm checking.
80% check.
Maybe even more than that, and then
Are
we're
we
betting. I think
checking
we're
the
betting
check raise?
large.
Oh, yeah.
We're checking to protect our range, but yeah, an aggressive check raise strategy.
Yep. A
Wow.
little bit of
bet
lead
small.
small.
Yeah, but I think our whole range does this, right? I think our range is doing mixing a lot here,
What percentage do you think we're c-betting?
like half. Maybe
Uh,
40 per,
it's-
maybe full, half, 40 to 50%.
I
I
will
think
say
it's way less than
35,
that.
35.
Yeah, I think it's like
I
30 to
think
20.
40-ish, 40 some.
Checking 61, betting 40. So
Okay, it was a
again,
little,
a sliver all throughout, but yeah, the idea is that we are pushing the slight range advantage that we have with better over pairs here. So it just bets once small. We've seen this a few times,
Ranges are so similar.
but now it goes check, check, ace. So we probably, because we check flop, we probably want to bet and bet small again.
I don't think so.
I would go
Nah.
a little, I would go like.
I'm gonna get
At least
spicy.
half, right?
I think we're
think
gonna
you
go
can-
small because when it goes check, check, do we really?
The ace changes the nature of the board.
Red or
Um,
gray, maybe.
I think we can check bet small or bet large. I think they're all viable options.
Yeah.
I would check or bet 5, not really betting small a lot. Maybe even some like 8s.
I would, you know what? Like, I would not be shocked. Is this a spot where we would overbet ever? Like,
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
check?
Yeah,
And would this be a candidate to do it? Would just be
Yeah.
one of our best candidates to do that? Like the,
well,
I don't think we get to overbet on an ace here. I really don't.
Why not?
yeah.
Cause
because
he
we
has
should have,
every two pair, like he has ace deuce, ace six, ace 10 in full.
and we have
he's-
ace six, and we
Well,
have
not,
ace.
not in full, but he'll bet sometimes on the flop, right? But
He's
And this-
mostly betting ace 10, but we're mixing a lot of checks with our range too. Yeah, look at all the overbets.
Uh,
oh, okay, I'm way
How
wrong.
did Peter miss one of the two that aren't in there?
I know, I was thinking of myself, I was like, all right, which one am I gonna click this? Primarily betting, over betting 2
2x.
pot
Yeah,
or check.
Yeah, I would,
quite
I,
often. when it goes-
I thought overbet, I didn't think it would go 2x, but I thought there was a chance it could.
Yeah,
I
quite
guess
often.
we
when
also
it
have
goes-
every two pair, huh?
When it
Yeah,
goes.
for sure,
check,
we have
check,
ace, we may not have ace two. That may be the one over pair we don't have.
He doesn't have ace 2 either. And then we have all the sets, which he doesn't have.
We might have more ace two than he has.
I don't think neither of us might have ace two because cutoff may not
Okay.
always
Oh, we're
call
under
ace
the
two.
gun, yeah, okay.
Yeah, because we
Which
may
is-
not open ace two suited in, cutoff may not call.
The full rainbow strategy here,
Pretty colors.
but it is going to be single spades. Getting after it, right? If you don't have a spade, you don't get the party quite as much. And the flush draw. Again, all the flush draws that are not ace high want to bet and go polar. And the ace high ones want to go small. And so this one can go small, can go big. Queen on the river. Marginal made hand, just a check here.
Or bet 2.
Or bet 2.
Did we overbet the turn?
Nope. Nope, we didn't. We bet
Bet
me.
80.
Yeah, if we ever bet
80%,
turn,
right?
we can't.
I feel like I need to stop block betting so much on the river. Like a lot of times just get raised, you're out of your face when you block bet. And then this is probably just kind of an easy fold, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean-
actually it's indifferent, but I feel like in
There's
perspective.
a sliver of all in, which I'm
No,
a
I
little
mean, no,
surprised by.
actually, I like it, but it's weird because we do block the jack, we block king jack, but they don't
Yeah,
have as
we-
much offsuit king jack versus us. We don't really
Queen,
have.
queen.
We blocked king jack and we did river a set of queens here sometimes.
Yeah, we
Oh,
blocked two
yeah.
pairs. We
We
blocked,
block ace queen, we block 10 queen.
Oh,
Yeah.
that
Although
makes
I don't know
sense.
what opponent of mine is checking back queens on, on this board, but
76. Okay.
I had somebody I
if we
played with
had
yesterday
overbet
that
the
did.
turn,
Oh my god, we got bluffed.
would
I
we
hate
continue
poker.
bluffing that river or would we still give up?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like that combo is a bad. Like, we'll have to bluff catch some of our queen X's, right?
Sorry, what was that, Danny?
Oh, I said like, let's say we had bet the 2x pot turn and then we get that
Huh?
river, would we continue bluffing?
No, because he's gonna be super value heavy when he
I'm not so sure, Pete. We can check. I mean, it's
Sure.
interesting with when we hit the queen because we're blocking river 2 pairs and we block the nut straight. I think we might jam some even though the jack of spades isn't great. Maybe not even jam, just like overbet again.
so instead of this, so on the turn, when we take the 14 size and our opponent calls, we throw up the queen of diamonds.
Like he's gonna start folding aces to another giant bet.
And we had queen jack goes for it.
Yeah.
Because now we're trying to get an ace to fold.
Yeah,
We do
queen
have a
jack of
jack.
spades has a little bit of checking, but it's primarily going for it.
Cool,
Ready.
thank you.
And yeah, and for all the points, right? Blocks 2 pair and blocks the straight with the jack. So.
Yeah,
And I'm sure,
that's tough.
yeah, I mean, it makes like ace king a different, folds out pretty much every other ace.
Yeah, he only
Well-
calls with 2 pair or better.
might even be good to have the spade, cuz like the straights he arrives there with would be like combo draw, right? He's not
Yeah.
just gonna call a 2x pot with king jack on the turn, right? Unless he has king
No.
jack of spades.
Yeah,
He's there with these when he's there. It's not very frequent, but he does have king jack off in range and it's a little bit of frequency.
I would assume that would have to be with at least one spade.
No, it unblocks
cool.
spades completely.
Oh, with
The other
unblock,
way.
oh, wow, that's interesting.
He wants us to have spades when we 2x pot the turn, so he only calls when he doesn't have a spade.
Huh, that's interesting. Cause that's different from some other sims that I've seen. But not with the 2x, maybe that's the sizing that dictates that.
So it starts to fold a little bit with the 6s. Faces an ace jack flop. Probably gonna be pretty fast. We saw that the 6 of spades and the 6 of hearts is the one that's gonna have a minutia of hanging around. And all right. Ooh, ace queen, and we get 3 bets. This time I think we'll play as a flat. Against the cutoff, notice that we do raise a little more often. King 9-3 monotone.
Oh, 10%er.
Micro bet. So calling with any spade and any pair. Are we calling with ace queen of hearts?
I think we're indifferent. Feels kinda bad. I would fold. I don't know.
Yeah,
Feels silly,
I
but-
think so because, and I think so because we can call with any of our pairs. We're gonna continue, well, maybe not call, we're gonna continue with any of our pairs. We have a bunch of kings here. Our queen, jack, queen 10 have gut shots. We probably could just fold the vast majority of our ace X here. that doesn't connect with this board.
But I mean, it's like he accidentally dropped a chip in the pot. He didn't even try to bet.
I broke my wrist holding.
Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
20%. Yeah, we only have to like, we have to continue 80% of the time, but probably 80% of our range connects.
Are
with this
you
board.
really paying this guy off with ace queen of hearts here?
Not a
No.
single chip.
Alright,
Oh, the birds.
I think that, oh yeah, we're four betting. Okay, and now we're gonna bet. I don't never know the strategy in four bet pots. Like, are we allowed to have checks? Are we allowed to bet? Like, why is it so
Yeah.
hard? I
Wow.
think we bet a half pot.
I think it's red.
What's our hand?
aces.
Ace,
Oh,
ace.
aces.
Nick
It's
is
not
just
working.
like,
I'm a
oh, aces
little
again.
tempted to
It
go
always
gray.
bets,
I'm
but
a
I think it
little
bets
tempted.
small.
You think it always bets?
Yeah.
4-3-2, yeah. I mean, I think we always bets just because our whole range, like our whole range either has like is either over pairs, most of which want to bet for protection. Ace X, which has a gut shot, and then everything else, which is like whatever, probably like indifferent. So I mean, I would be surprised if we like made a bet range, but I'm sure this bets a ton just because it's a 4-bet pot now. Our range is really condensed.
I like Danny's line here too. I think it's gonna primarily choose this size. It's gonna have a little bit of both of these, but I don't know that it's gonna have very much of this. I think
I don't know. Yeah,
we're
gray
going
might
to
be a
want
trap.
to. We're gonna want to push our equity with our better over pairs against his worse over pairs because, like, he's never folding pocket sevens to an 11 chip bet here.
Which overpair are we gonna check the most frequently?
Probably our
Pocket sixes and pocket aces. Right?
We
If
check
we're even
first.
good with
I
sixes,
just don't know that we check much at all here. If it really
We don't.
matters.
We really don't.
like pocket sixes don't want to put any money in the pot when we have that minutia of four betting pocket
I don't-
sixes.
Do we ever? I say like, do we? I don't even know if we have
15%
sixes.
check.
Yeah.
With garbage.
We don't even have pocket sixes here. So a little bit of eights, nines, and tens check.
Huh.
And it's against that as it's the overpair hierarchy. Right? So we want to bet small, and then we get the queens and jacks and tens that want to bet big.
And then aces probably
I
may
think
want
the
to just go
reason-
back to be checking. Well, I guess they want to bet big too, but
The reason I wanted to go gray, is cuz he just has a lot of natural like ace high stuff that has a lot of equity and can continue for a big bet.
But we have two
Although we
aces, so
block
it's hard
ace
for
high
him to
stuff.
have
We're
ace
double
high, right?
blocking them.
Yeah.
And he also like won't fold an over pair to one bet.
Yeah, the ace that
And
he has the
everything's an
most is the
overpair.
ace of clubs, which has no flush draw equity, right?
You
So
know,
if we have the ace of clubs, it's a better, yeah, it's better that way. But yeah, mixing both of these sizes very heavily, a little bit of check. Board pairs, it's gonna lock up equity. We're not really afraid of anything. We go
I'm
6
very, oh, never mind. That's a 3, not a 5. I was gonna say that they call 6, 7 suited, and but I thought it was a 5. So yeah, I like this card. It improves our range. a bit.
33.
I want to get my money in, but not. I don't think all in. So yeah, I think that makes sense if you're trying to get money on in the river. You can also check jam. No, yeah, it looks like 30. It likes its half pot.
solver special. This committing size.
Yeah, it's a weird spot. Like I don't know if you gave it the option to go geo there, if it would want to.
Happy days.
Yeah.
We're just gonna get it all. Yeah.
Nice.
Raise. Yeah, flatted.
Oh no, I want to get flatted.
Whoa, what a mess of draws this is between the queen
Check
nine,
fold.
six,
Check.
a little bit of betting. So again, we see this. There is a fair amount of leading really small here on the D.
Well,
Oh,
we do see bet more against the cutoff and button than against middle position.
this never folds, really? All right.
Are you sure? Oh, maybe because we have 4 spades.
Yeah. I mean, oh, please let me fold solver. Thank you. I think I might have saved 2 chips on the flop.
I guess like no ace or king on the flop, you just continue one street for small. I don't know.
Yeah, I
kinda weird that
know.
it
I
never
think
fold.
4 is probably mixed depending on whether you have a spade or not.
Yeah, but if you're pure calling with the spade, you probably don't get to pure fold without it still. It's gonna be like half and half or something.
It could be, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
All right, so how often are you calling? How often are you folding this? How often are you bluffing
Oh, fuck.
it?
Uh,
Probably
Alright,
10%.
that jammed into aces.
half
What-
I think,
and
I
half.
think
fold and call.
probably a sliver of 4 bet, but mostly call.
What's our randomizer?
Our randomizer gives us the 12.
Never fold.
Never fold. Just call 20% or bet. Oh, that looks
With
good.
with these type of hands, you mainly are just trying to hit a flush draw, right? Or like get an ace and see little action.
Well,
Yeah,
well, the implied odds are good for deep stack poker, right?
Or
Like
two
we,
pair or whatever. Yeah, okay.
yeah, like we could cooler a lot of with this high-low combo, we can cooler a lot of worse flushes here too.
Also
Right,
the
king-
wheel. Yeah.
King
yeah,
jack.
you get a wheel,
10.
you could get a lot of money in against ace, king, ace, queen, when you spike 2 pair.
Oh, flush completes. That is good for the caller in a 3-bet pot. Our range wants to bet.
Did it go check, check?
Check, check. 3-bet pot.
Mhm.
We could go really big. Well,
Wheel?
maybe not really big here, but we could probably go
Or purple.
I
like
don't think we'll
pot.
have a lot of big bets.
We could probably go, yeah, but I think this might be one of those edge case hands that does.
Half just feels a little small to me. Kinda
Yeah,
like.
Like
three.
I would probably go pot with some of my ace X because I also want to take some of my like ace, some of my some stuff that like I want to try to get folds with and slide it into that
I'm-
range.
I'm never going large. I'm checking, I'm betting a third, or I'm betting half pot.
Yeah, when the flush completes, we're not gonna bet very large.
Okay, so we unblock him calling with a big spade too. Right, so I don't think we want that like this, when we bet this size, it's gonna make it hard for him to continue with anything but the king of spades. As we bet smaller and smaller, he's gonna be able to continue with a worse spade more often. So I am inclined to bet one of these 2 smaller sizes, but I also do like check with this combo as well. It does have 18 very prominently here. But mixing all of the sizes.
Wow, okay. Do we see what our range is doing?
It's probably this high-low combo specifically. So, yeah. if
I mean,
our
hands that unblock his continues. It is worse flushes. It is like other draws that might continue. So like ace 4, ace 3, ace 5 would be hands that like I would, oh, I guess ace 5, not so much. Ace 7 more than I would think.
Yeah, Larry was right. Our range really wants to bet 30% here. right? But this one specific hand, right? The high-low combo really likes the bigger
Yeah.
sizing.
Yeah,
Allowing him to continue with the king or queen of spades.
Yeah, when we have like ace jack of spades, it's just less likely that he has hands that will continue for a big size, which is why you bet small.
When we bet this 18 size, he calls with doesn't have the ace of spades. Calls with the king and queen of spades. So, yeah, it's okay. We can bet pot and he still should call with the king or queen of spades. Okay, so let's take a more prominent sizing here. And he calls, and we get the straightening card. 7 is a straight.
Ooh, check jam?
I don't think we can check here. We went polar on the turn.
I would check here, and I don't. Do we ever?
We have to
But he
check
has all those
with
single
some-
spade hands that wanna bluff now, right?
We have to check sometimes with our nut hands. We just have to.
The
I don't think
9
we'll
is
check
cool
with
cuz queen jack came in.
I think we're mostly jamming, checking some, and then block betting a tiny bit.
Yeah, I'm not checking this because we took the lead.
It
Here,
is
Jim.
Never
just,
check.
let's take a
Alright.
look at the entire range here and see what it does on that 9 of club river.
Yeah, I don't think we check behind too much after we take the lead on the turn.
So
a
every
big
time you
polarized.
check on the river, you don't have a hand.
Well, the board texture didn't change, right? Like the flush didn't devalue itself.
Yep.
When we bet really big, like we're pretty
So we
pushed to
just
having a
continue the
flush.
story.
Yeah.
With our,
No, I understand, but I'm saying like, if you always are betting your nut hands and then checking your bluffs, you're pretty easy to play against, right? Or checking your
Yeah.
misses.
Yeah, but we have like ace 9 of spades. I think if you look at ace 9 of spades, ace 9 of spades is checking like pure, and that's because we're not
No,
That's one
ace nine
pair.
of spades is never checking.
ace 9 of. Oh no, I'm
What about-
sorry. No, I'm sorry.
The
No,
other ace
never
nines.
mind. Oh, it's the slivers of ace 9 that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so all of our ace X, just all of our ace of spades wants to just pile.
Yeah, the ones that miss are also there, right? Like we have ace jack of spades, but we also have ace jack of hearts with bricked. And both of them are shoving.
Yeah, we jam a
So-
lot, so
Yeah.
it's. Yeah.
we have
nine
two
check.
pair and a set of 6s in our check range too. 9-8 and 10-9 are checking. So I guess those protect us, Nick.
10-9. 10-9, yeah.
Are ace three,
Pocket
ace four,
sixes.
ace five of spades pure jams too?
All of them are
like there's n-
all the aces, spades, or jams.
Okay, so
Except
there's
for
normally
ace
like a combo that has slivers of checks.
Yeah, ace 9 of, I guess because the 7 is the straight here. We check some sets here as our third value. Right?
So when we check and he jams, what do we defend with?
We can take a look.
We do bet a non-all-in size, it looks like, with some worse flushes occasionally.
When we check, his line is to jam all the flushes. Flush, 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 flush. Set. Straight, Great. He checks back with bottom set. And
What do we
he-
defend with versus the jam?
when he jams. It's gonna be tough because we don't have all the flushes. We have our ace nine of spades, our ace 10. Wow,
There's
top
top,
pair, top
top.
kicker. I don't think so. Not in this neighborhood, kid. We have the straight. We have the 7, the straight. We have sets. We defend sets and straights.
So we're just crushed.
Yeah, I call my top and he rolls over pocket sevens.
Yeah, I don't know about that top. Yeah, we could call with the 7 here then. Right, or queen jack when we have it.
And 10-9 and 9-8 were in there. You have your top 2 and middle 2.
Ooh, king queen off versus a 3-bet. Trash or crawl?
I think we actually fold.
Trash.
It's the same as like ace jack off.
Pure
Ah.
fold.
Yep, and it is surprising, and this is a toxic leak in a lot of people's game and used to be in mine. Not so much anymore.
You folded, right?
We
Yep.
folded.
Switch it up to some attacking the blinds after this. Ooh,
This we can bet.
Oh.
I wanna bet. I don't believe the button has any kings and we have ace king, we have ace king, we have ace ace, we have king king. We have king queen. We definitely have
But-
king king.
Yeah, the button has more
My
kings than we do because the
God.
button will defend down to like a lot of their suited kings.
Yeah, but we have all the suited kings, remember? We open all those.
Yeah, but we don't have king 6 or king 5, 6 suited, king 5 suited, king 7 suited. Maybe
I
a king-
opened it.
2 or check.
I think our range is gonna wanna bet about 40% of the time with this, but I actually think this specific hand is going to want to check and try and realize its backdoor equity with the flush.
85.
The
Better than
I
I
do
backdoor,
thought.
check this a lot. Game.
Yeah,
yeah, this hand really wants to see a turn. It does not want to bloat the pot yet.
So you're saying passive ol' me might be playing just fine, huh?
Backdoor you, just fine. Front door you, not so fine.
Well, yeah.
So, yeah. And if we look at all the hearts. All the heart combos. Backdoor flush draw 2 cards. Really want to check. The ones that want to bet are the real trash ones.
Well, the ace 5 and ace 3 are also, backdoor wheels.
so those make some sense to bet in terms of pushing equity.
Yeah, the better
Does
it
this
is
change at 40 effective?
at 40.
Yeah. I know that's not the topic of today, but
Sure, we'll take a look. Usually so. So first of all, it has micro and medium size as opposed to just the one small size. And let's take a look at the hearts. King 4, very similar pattern. Betting the small ones, checking the big ones, but checking a lot less. Right? A lot more of the 1.4, and that's just a factor of pushing that king equity and not really being afraid of what the kicker is now.
okay, cool. Thank you.
No problem, but it goes check, check. Now we don't have our backdoor equity. We have ace high. Single raise pot. Is this a hand we just want to try and get to showdown with?
Yeah. That would be my
Yeah.
plan.
We can check or bet.
All 1 EV, all very small. Okay, we're really happy. We got here. I don't think there's anything to do but this. Check. Oh, gross river.
Boo.
Boo. So here we go. And we will now look at the most bullying spot. The open and the big blind defends. So the big blind is going to be pretty wide, have all the suited combos. So what do we want to do with this 9-8?
Bet two.
Bet two seems fine, yeah.
So against the really wide range, we're going to have a hard time finding checks, I think. I think we're going to be betting small and betting a lot. Right? Paired board, you can see we're just pushing our equity with 75% of our range. And the big disparity between our range and their range, and this is going to be pretty consistent on any board over 9, is we're just going to see this range bet a lot on the flop. Check raise. Ooh. And this
why?
hand staying a check raise.
Made it pretty small. I'm tempted.
Yeah, I mean, we spilled 2 chips in, he spilled 3 chips in, he clicked us.
Yeah, no, I don't think our 9-8s ever fold.
A lot of good turns.
Well, maybe slurs a raise even.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if we would raise 9.
I was thinking
Though.
about 3-bet too.
How
yeah.
often were we raising,
It's
Pete?
pretty gangster.
12%.
Okay.
So pretty reasonable. So check raise check. We are supposed to continue with a bet a lot here. Does this combo want to do it?
I'm betting small.
I mean, it's the
Yeah.
bottom of our range. I don't think we block. Well, we block some. Well, actually, they don't check raise. Maybe they do check raise 9s and 8s, but it makes sense.
A lot of
I guess
their
we're mixing. It's like the little borderline of like it has reasons to bet and reasons to check.
So we did take the bet line. So we check raised, we got check raised, then we continued with a turn bet. Now the flush completes on the river.
Let's just bet because we definitely have 9-8 of diamonds here. Just it doesn't matter. We didn't check our cards again. We have 9-8 of diamonds. We're gonna go all in and we're gonna believe that we have 9-8 of spades. 9-8 of spades. We have 9-8 of spades.
We don't even jam with 9-8 of spades.
Yeah, if we had 9-8 of spades, we're not even jamming.
No, I meant bet pot. I didn't say go all in.
I
Okay,
do like a bet though. Like, yeah.
and
I guess
pot,
I mean it has good reasons to give up as well because once we bet on the turn and then they continue.
yeah, his continuing range just has a lot of backdoor spades and kings
Mhm.
or hands or even a hand like that.
Did he call our jacks?
He folded.
Oh,
No,
we get
Jack's is
50
a terrible
bigs.
hand because he's blocking Jack Queen. That's why, like, I wouldn't bluff Jack Queen. I don't think that I bluff 9-8.
Mhm.
Do we see our bluffing range?
I
Sure.
mean, I'd rather bluff 9-8 than Jack Queen as well, because 9-8 is closer to the bottom of our range.
Yeah, we unblock his natural continues on the turn when he turns open-ended as well. Right, and Queen Jack's probably a pretty reasonable turn raise for him, or flop check raise for him. Here, our turn range. Is that what you wanted, Nick?
Just our river bets. Wait, when were we betting 9-8? That was the river, right? Yeah.
Well, we bet at every street.
Yeah, on the river. Where are we pulling bluffs from?
On the river, 9-8.
But does
Yep.
Queen
goes
jack still
for it.
goes for it.
Yeah. Queen jack goes for it. Pretty gross though. Right?
Yeah,
Not-
Queen Jack's a good hand though to do that with because you're blocking a bunch of his 10x and his
Like-
king x.
yeah, you're only making one chip though. It's a pretty thin
Yeah.
one. Right? 9-8 is much better. Oh, lovely. Jack 10 with a flush draw. Get out the big guns.
Hey, how
I'm
come
o-
there's no option for 18?
I'm over betting.
Don't we bet really big on Jack 10 boards?
Yeah, I'm gonna have some pot. I'm gonna have some over pot.
Alright,
Not
I guess
over
I'm
pot.
all in.
Never over
Just
betting.
pot. And he chickens out.
We've had a lot of aces today. Is that the third one?
Why can't I get this many aces at a tournament, eh?
Yeah, seriously.
All right, king 3-2.
That's
Galen,
small with
Two.
range.
Galen gets that many.
A little, yeah, he had that this morning.
He
A
only
little
had,
bit
what,
of
3?
overbet.
3 or 4? If
Yeah,
we do my
four.
run, I think I might have cracked double digits.
Oh. This-
No, I probably had it like 6.
Jack 3-2.
I think this does nothing but
Check.
that's small. I think this is just a range bet.
This might be a leak of mine. But yeah, I think I'm not finding enough,
That's, I think. I don't think this is a range bet board.
Yeah, it is. It's jack high. 3-2 doesn't really connect as well with the big blind range as you think.
100 big blinds deep.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, yeah, I mean, they have some, I mean, they have like, they don't have any of like the offsuit threes. They have some, all the suited threes and suited twos and 3-2, but I'm pretty sure this is just a range bet.
It is betting this combo pure.
Remember, reverse is a big blind now, so you're gonna be checking this versus when you're out of position, but when you're in position, you can bet the shit a lot. Like it's those heuristics that basically the out of position. In position doesn't need equity to bluff as much. It's just about ranges, and
Yeah.
our range is just so far ahead. They just have so many folds on this jack 3 deuce.
Yeah, I mean,
you're right.
they have 3s and 2s, but they also have 7-6 offsuit.
And the
10,
stuff they don't fold, we
5
have a
suited.
lot of. Yeah, no, out of position, it's a leak to bet this combo. But in position, it's yum. Let's go. Especially like
Alright.
people underestimate jack high and queen high boards. You're like, oh, well, like they know to bet on ace high boards and king high boards.
Yeah, a lot of these. Yeah, a lot of the Broadway rag. Except ace 3-2. Ace 3-2 is actually a different animal, but Jack 3-2 is just a pure range bet.
Yeah, there's not really much checking with the king at all. There's not really much checking with the queen. There's not really much checking with the jack. Right? You don't start to check until you get to
It's like
10.
the 8 high and 9 high boards. That's when you
Yeah,
really start to
and-
see them.
And the possible flopped wheels.
Yeah, and yeah, that's always a say, like
Wheel
ace
pops
3-2
up.
is a totally different animal.
And then, yeah, once
Uh,
you start to get down under 10, there's more
How,
checking.
how does this report change button versus big blind?
Button versus big blind?
Not
Yeah.
dramatically. I mean, some, but not dramatically.
The range is like.
Translators are wider,
2.5x wider.
but a lot of the same heuristics apply. You might do a little more checking. But the
So
same,
one cool thing is I thought
Jack high
that like,
board, good for the button.
I thought the check raise range for the big blind, well, this was at like 60 big blinds
Yeah.
that I was looking at. I thought the check raise percentage and call percentage would change for the big blind versus under the gun and versus the button, but reality is it actually doesn't. It's just you have less stuff in your range because you fold more versus under the gun pre-flop. So you still have like a lot of boards have like 20% check raise versus like early position and button.
So
Not
there's a
this
lot
board.
less. So versus the later position, there's a lot more small betting. And less polarization. Unless you have two cards that are above 10. Right? And some jack 9, some jack 10, but once you get here, right, it really wants to see queen jack, queen 10, king jack, king 10, queen, king queen to polarize the board.
So our global
And-
check frequency is 29. We bet small 49. We bet 14, 12.
Yeah.
Can we see it at under the gun again? Sorry, I'm just trying to
Sure.
compare the two.
Yeah, no problem.
29, 49, 12.
Gun.
yeah, it's
So,
like
yeah,
21.
49, 12, 5.
Yeah.
So
you
check
do some more
went
big
down
betting.
by,
Yeah. by
check went
10%.
down by 9, bet small went down by 5. The bet floor went up by 5, and the bet 6 went up by 5. Okay.
and the bet 9 went up as well too. So,
So basically you get to be, you check a little less and you get to be a little more polar in certain textures.
you just get the
Which
bet.
makes sense because the ranges are stronger.
Okay, ranges have vastly narrowed. Opponent called a healthy bet. And checks. Card is good for our range, not good for our hand.
I think we can bet or check.
It's going to just bet. When we bet flop, we bet turn. Card's good for our range.
Yeah, ace X, like a lot of these ace danglers are
betting
just
everything.
good bluffs. No, the ace danglers are good bluffs. We get to have them checks.
Yeah,
Like
our
jack
opponent-
X.
Our opponent's gonna
Under
call with a lot
pairs.
of 3s and 2s that the queen just puts a lot of pressure on them, so. Oops. Alright. Well, we will